if you're leading your messaging with features, then you might not get the results you want. That's because you're talking about the how before you talk about first the why or what. When people are looking for things online, like looking for solutions to their problems, they need to feel connected before they actually pay attention and see if your offer benefits them or not. And the way you do that is by first talking about their problems. They want to feel connected, they want to identify themselves on what you're offering. So instead of leading with features, lead with the problem, lead with the benefits that might help that problem first. So to help with that, I created a simple example that I'm going to show you. So this is a very generic, low fidelity version of a top section of a website for a fictional product. This is like a AI assistant, right? It's called Nova, all fictional. And we have here the first headline and subheadline and call to action that it's something you might see on lots of AI solutions websites today. They specifically talk about AI, they talk about the tech, they talk about the features, just like we see here when I say your personal AI reimagined, powered by state-of-the-art large language models and real-time context awareness to help you get more done faster. Okay, we're talking about getting more done faster. That's kind of too broad, but okay. And then we have the call to action saying try now. That's fine, and it might work depending on your definition of conversion. In the previous video, I talk about conversion. Conversion is relative. It really depends on your goal. So if your goal is to attract investors to what you're trying to build, then having all these buzzwords talking about attack and specifically mentioning AI, that might help you get their attention. But I wouldn't do that even for investors, because investors are also looking to feel inspired. And to feel inspired, I need to tell a story. And we're not telling a story here, we're just talking about features. So the way I would do here is I would do a few changes just to the messaging to get started. And the first thing I would probably change is the name. Nova is a good name, but it feels too tacky, too futuristic for something that needs to feel personal. We're talking about personal AI assistant. So what I did here was to change the name to Mina, something I came up with. Mina sounds like a person's name, so this feels more personal because it sounds like it's not AI, it's not something tacky. It's a real person, could be a real person. Could be someone called Mina offering assistance, right? So this helps you get a bit more connected. And then the messaging that we have here is different. We're saying here, the assistant that works quietly in the background. Mina organizes information, recalls what you need, and helps you plan without interrupting your flow. And then the call to action is meet Mina. It's like meeting a real person, right? So if you can see here that we have zero mentions about AI. There's no AI mentioned anywhere here. And we're not talking about features. We're not talking about specific tech. We're just talking about the problem. The problem is right here, is to plan your day, to recall information, to organize information. All of that process might feel disruptive to your flow, your workflow. So what we're saying here is this is your problem. You have to organize your day, plan things, organize information, and that's disruptive. And you're trying to find a solution for that. Mina is exactly that. It helps you with that specific problem without interrupting your flow. So we're framing the problem, and at the same time, we're presenting an offer, a solution that feels more personal than the previous message. That without touching any concepts about AI or tech or etc. It's an AI assistant, but people don't really, they don't care if it's an AI solution or something else. They just care that it's talking about their problem and there might be a solution for their problem right here. That's what matters, and that's how you start telling a story. And Speaking about telling a story, while I was doing this video, I found a perfect example that has a very similar solution to what I'm presenting here. It's also a assistant, kind of assistant. But the way this website shows information and tells a story, it's perfect. Let me show you. This is Howie. So you see the name is already catchy, Howie. And the messaging they show here, you can see it's a similar structure to what we have there. We have the headline, then we have some visual here to attract you and make you keep scrolling. And all they say here is meet Howie, the people's secretary. So okay, it's a secretary. So where is AI mentioned here? There's no place on this top section where you can see AI, but this is enough to make you feel intrigued and think, okay, this might be a good thing. This might be a solution to my problem. And then they do something very smart here where they show different faces of people and some questions, like these people were actually thinking about these questions. And the questions are all about someone who is very productive, someone who never has issues with scheduling and no issues with being productive, and like how that person is productive, how that person is so well organized. They're questioning themselves, and the solution is right here. It's Howie. That's the answer to their question. So this is very smart way to tell a story. Story of a person who uses this product and gets the problem with scheduling and planning solved by this secretary called Howie, right? If you keep scrolling, after all of that, that's the first time you actually see AI mentioned. So Howie manages your calendar with the finesse of a world-class EA and the precision of a bleeding-edge AI. So now we're talking about AI, not about bleeding-edge technology. That might be because they're also looking for investors, about looking for funding. So they're also trying to attract customers, but maybe they're also trying to attract investors. So it's a good thing that they have AI mentioned here. But it's right after all of that stuff, you're already kind of convinced to read and learn more. You're already intrigued by the story. And there's tons of things that they say here that are done very smartly with the messaging. But the thing that caught my attention is this section. You see this visual of a person like being multiplied, multiple versions of the same person, and then they say this sentence right here: multiply yourself with Howie. So I'll take myself as an example. When I'm too busy with personal life, with work, with tons of stuff happening at the same time, I'll always catch myself thinking, if I had a superpower, I would love to be able to clone myself. So my clones would be doing all the work and I can get my time back. And that's exactly what they're talking about here. Multiply yourself with Howie. That's the superpower I'm looking for. So I'm convinced. I want to learn more about this. Maybe that's a solution for my problem. You see, it's all about framing the problem and then presenting a solution that connects to that problem. That's how you tell a story, and that's how you work on a messaging that improves your chance to have better conversions. That's it. So next time you work on your messaging, think about that. Instead of leading with features, lead with problem and lead with benefits.